thank you. Thank you for variety. I book primary and environment and it with this. But yeah, so the question is, welcome to does play a significant role in inflammation. So I see patients every day, and a lot of them come to me with either saying, I feel like I'm inflamed, I don't feel good, or we check their inflammation marker in their elevated. So the medications can help, but there is another part where we as individuals can do a lot to improve our health. It's like so, so the way we can help ourselves is to choose what foods we eat in our mouth. And the studies have shown that there are foods that are good for us, for our health and longevity, and there are foods that are not as good for us. And here I'm not going to tell you probably anything new than what you already know from your grandmothers or grandparents. And that is the food that is similar to what it looks like when you can take it from the plants or from the trees. That food is good for us. The foods that we are used to seeing more often in the last 1,800 years are the foods that are packaged, the foods that are canned, the foods that have birthday sold. And those foods have a lot of juice added to them. And we just don't know what are the long-term side effects of the food. Precisely, okay, all the side effects of the medicine we take. I can tell that the studies show this is bad. And then we decide you're taking this enough. But we don't think that way as a food. So after decades of, high in certain dyes in our food, which initially nobody you that has anything wrong with it, then some hunters start pulling away and saying, okay, these dyes are no longer healthy. But what happened to people who have been consuming them for so long, right? So and then finally, even in US, dyes have been pulled away from foods that could have kids. So that's just one example of things that we just have to be careful. So the more you can eat the fruits that are on the grocery aisle, on the in the form that it looks like, beans and lentils and plants or vegetables, those foods are not harmful. All the others, the more it is on the label, the words that you don't know what they are, the longer the list of the ingredients in the label is, you may take a look, see, and decide that night, do I really want to take this? I don't know what's right for, right? So then you just put it back and go back to buying orange or apple or something else. That is kind of in a nice show. Those are the foods that I would say are highly plant, and I would say that we can. And kind of make switching every time take a bite. Is this something that is going to help me? Or is it something that is going to hurt me on the road?
Thank you. So we are all in Uncle Sam's country, and we are all belong to pizza party, right? So what party is a unilaterally we are all pizza party people. So what do you say for the kids about, that's what they do every birthday, right? So how about they going on with the pizza parties?
Yes, I have little kids. I don't know if you saw them, right? So as every kid, they want to eat pizzas, they want to eat bagel, they want to eat pastas. My kids are not different than your kids. But the way I try to raise them is to explain to them, okay, this is an option. Yes, you could take it. So they will have pizza one day here and there. I don't forbid them any foods, but I always try to give them healthier choice. So in my home, there's no need to pizza. Or if there is pizza, we make it at home.
Okay.
or we are not going to buy bagels or other things, but we're gonna make fruit salad. So there are choices, like I said. I don't personally forbid anything to a kid, but you can always decide what you and tell them and how to explain to them why certain foods are good or some, or what are certain foods are more beneficial or not. And there are books and also kid books. There's a little spiritual book which we read together very often, and it talks about superpowers and talks about foods. That's one of the superpowers, and that's the opportunity to teach it. Okay, when I eat curry, you like this macabre, this thing, those black body. So you want to eat all veggies or fruits, your almonds, green. So it is challenge, every day, but we just like to make more classes today.
That's a great point. Like, food is our superpower. That's great. So my next question is for Miss Divya Nadimpalli. So you have been a physical therapist, right? So also you have been recognized for introducing meditation into healthcare. What impact have you seen on patients and in your profession that meditation impacted them?
I always see any seeds of people beyond the physical aspect. I see it more to mental aspect as well.
Right.
So as in children relations, they go to certain space and they stop progressing something. They do all the kind of the house, they get to the rehab centers where we'll see cookies. They start seeing. So that's when the mind kind factor gets exit. That's when
People did hours. And so the sleep seems to be a cease where the illness or presumed health. So every time you go to sleep, make sure that you realize reserve your sleep. So you may sleep for your. Another important part of the lifestyle is physical activity. So whenever you could tell me more about, that is so important because it tells our mental part as well as our physical part. And there's numerous studies and it's no longer questionable, it is scientifically proven. So I will say, if you walk 10 minutes every day, does not need to be long. It can be just 10 minutes after dinner, and you have your family on the table, and then after you finish your meal, just go for a walk for 10 minutes. If you have more time, sure, altogether, 10 minutes is good. That's huge. Which leads me to the next one, which is connectedness. So in today's world, we feel like per job is one task, another task. We just don't want to get together, right? So we need to make efforts to actually get together with whoever is in your house and also your friends. So connectedness seems to be very important for me. So people usually have heard of blue zones, areas where people with the longest. So they all have connections with their kids or with their community, just like your experience. That's a very good example. So that must be very important. Um, so another viewer of Black Thousand is Hannah Raker, right? The all that drugs are not good for us. The all that hobby is not good for us. We link cancer. Well, finally, alcohol has also been pronounced to be one of the key player for cancer. So I usually tell my patients, you do want to do yourself something good, but try to avoid those things and for addictive substances, they don't do it using words as addictive partners. So avoid controls is very important. And the final pillar, the sixth one, is how would you be here, which is meditation purpose, so mindfulness or relaxation, connectedness to your inner self, and higher is believing more than yourself. So those are all very important. So those are the six pillars. Now, which creed really are important. I can tell you, I can, you need, because emotion is the one that is for you, and then work have one or second one. What I see in my colleagues very frequently is lack of sleep, poor nutrition, lack of satiety, and dogs seem to be not clear against the first three. But again, you have to sit with yourself and think, what does she want to work on? What does your ultimately solve?
So thank you. You really hit the nail on the head. I'll just tell you a small live example of what you said. One of the teenagers in my dance class said that she was one time hearing some music. And I said, like, there is no music playing. She literally said, no, ma'am, I'm hearing music right now. And then I asked her exactly, did you sleep last night? She said, like, she has not slept for 3 days straight. And she started listening to some music somewhere. So she started hallucinating, basically. That's what happens without the sleep. Thank you. Thank you. Especially for the teens, very important, whatever the doctor has suggested right now, lifestyle changes. So my next question to you, Divya, is how can mindfulness help patients maintain postural health, the posture, okay, and functional fitness after rehabilitation ends? Yeah, a little louder.
See, the session, they go home and they just get lost that they like. But that's
How what you were saying about mindfulness and mind? I guess we have to step number one. We need to make a decision how we want, what we want to do for ourselves, right? You make the decision when you're looking for a job. I'm going to look for a job. I'm gonna find a job with them, and you go for it. So think of it also. I want to make decision how I want to eat. And that decision is yours. If mine is yours, every time you can try to eat something, you skip with your initial decision. So that's number one. Number one, making a decision, this is the way I want to eat versus the way I don't want to eat is very important. Number two is have your people, meaning like you need the support. We can't live alone. We know that when kids are left alone before the age of one, that's homing like, and there has severe or has they're not ever gonna come. So we are a social creature. We close, and when we fall, we need somebody else to help us. So if we are blessed if we have a family or a household that is supporting our decision to eat healthfully. But not everybody have the courage. So in that case, you need to find lots of own friend, or maybe another family member, or it can be your physical therapist, it can be your physician, or it can be someone else who is going to support you your decision. And that your decision is, okay, I'm gonna eat healthfully. So then when you have a support, then you have to figure out what the strategy. So it's the way of society these days. It's very convenient, it's very easy to, stop by the McDonald's, grab the burger and the fat diet and have a meal. Now, is that the right decision that you made? Is the question, right? So if this is not decision, this is not the food you want, then you need to have a plan. How you got hungry on the way, what am I going to do? So city big plan. So I have to plan for the week what our meals are going to be for the family, what kids are going to take to school, what's going to be your lunch boxes. So it does take time. But you kind of make decision in career night. Is this kind worth it or not? It's like investing money in somewhere, right? So you're investing the time for our future. Because we know if you're not gonna eat healthful, it's like a one bit you can never win if we, go forward. But so step one, like I said, is decision. I will make that two it having your friends or someone who's going to support you along the way. Step three is learning how you're going to do that when the tough time comes. And it is going to come. You're going to be a place where you may not be able to find anything. We go on a trip somewhere and you have to look for restaurant. If you're in your communities, then you have to find out restaurants that are going to have one or two meals that you really appreciate, that you feel like it bringing you health, not harm. So say in other words, I think you just say take effort, and the question is, do you want to take that effort to have? And that's I think where I truly believe that you can invest for your future. The time is buying, right? In the country. So that time that you invest for your health is going to keep you out.
So you saw like key points like a pani supports as metal pine, right? So we were these two excellent experts. Colleagues, you know how nutrition, physical exercise, mindfulness, with important about the lifestyle. So if you have any questions, we are able to like three questions. If anybody wants to ask, please raise your hands and we hand over to Machi. You all did not. Already follow you to them. Any questions? To my son who is sitting on the last row, I think he better listen is not about it more. Very excited. So, stay Wow, wow. That is surprising. Come on.
Yeah, Taliki. Was just quite understood so far. She can tell what are the three most foods that the kids like to eat more.
Kids like to eat.
More often, her kids.
Oh, okay. So you are Ken, what do they like to eat?
Three things that they love to eat. Okay, so my kids eat oatmeal all every morning, and so in oatmeal I will cook things that were good for them. So I always had dairy in the oatmeal, so they can they want strawberry, blueberry, blackberry, whichever the usual burgers. Then about the cheetah pig, or God put hemp pig, brown Pepsi. They don't really not taste it. I don't really care for those, but I care for those. And then we're gonna put some nuts, and they can whatever nut they want. So they like walnut, like ground walnuts. So it kind of use more of a secret cake. And then we put some kind of pan-baked milk, where it has soy milk or almond milk or whatever. And then we kind of decided, okay, let's just something not spicy now. So there's the cinnamon or big dipper for cinnamon. And I usually give them, if you have time in the morning, I will give them options. I'm gonna put stuff on something, and they'll pick what they want. So they pick they want. That they'll eat very days. They're really to try. So that's one of the strategy that I have with them. So I give them option or smoothies. We like to do smoothies, and smoothies you can hide a lot of things the kids don't like, which is me. Right? A lot of kids don't like it. So they love smoothie. And then smoothie you can also hide spinach, you can hide kale. For example, I had a taste of kale or a sick. But it's going to be three early. And then they put where else? Strawberry. They take 3 days and they each pick what they want. Then they will eat more my good cheese. So smoothie with my oatmeal, and actually they like green sauce. So you're gonna say she really, but the more you introduce and reintroduce food, the more they'll get used to it, and their taste buds are going to change. So that is the key. So the kid very should be very easy from the beginning when they're little. It's a little bit difficult later, because at the beginning you can actually feed them with the healthful food that they're gonna develop taste for it. And you don't defend associate it, but you always want to eat the food that you had as a child, right? Where mom made the school, I want to eat this, right? It just came through. This is how trained the taste bud at the very beginning. So having little kids a very good opportunity to actually introduce the food for them. or the low of speed we have every day in our household.
But I can't agree more because when I went to my physician, he kept saying that put it on the countertop, put it on the countertop. So I didn't understand why he's repetitively saying that put fruits on the countertop. But when I really did that, put the nuts, the fruits, and everything available visibly, that's when the real magic happened. So what you said is perfectly, I agree. So any other questions? Oh, here you go.
I have a question about sleep. You said 8 hours of sleep?
Oh. Question. Attention.
And having 8 hours of sleep. So, well, I worked for years and years, decades. I thought average 5 to 6 hours of sleep a night. And now that I'm retiring, I'm trying to add more hours of sleep. But I just am recovering. And I've been gradually got up to 7 hours, 7.5 hours. But now that I'm recovering, feeling better, I'm naturally waking up after 6 hours. So how can I extend that with a nap? Does that count too in your 8 hours? Or what do you recommend to extend your hours of sleep?
I think the question is, how do you feel after sleeping 6 hours? Do you feel like with 6 hours you feel good and you can go? Or you feel tired like you need to take a nap? Because some people, 6 hours is just perfectly fine for them. So 8 hours is kind of a general, approximately for average person. But there are people who need more, who need 9 hours of sleep to feel good. And there are people who need less hours to feel good. So I think we don't have to target the magic number. I think it's targeting how you feel, sleeping. Did you get good restful sleep? And if your body says, yeah, I'm ready to go and I can do my whole day, do whatever I want to do, 6 hours is perfectly fine.
So if the 6 hours makes her well rested, so that is okay.
Correct. If you feel good now, if you tell me, I wake up after 6 hours and I have to take 2 naps during the day and I feel tired and I don't feel good, well, that means it's not really, the 6 hours is probably not enough.
That answer your question? All right. So any other questions before we wrap up this segment? Don't be shy. Okay, here you go.
Is Divya, like, are there certain exercises you suggest we do daily as people and then also in general? And then as we get older, are there certain exercises? Because my foot doctor is telling me about certain exercises I should do daily, and I was wondering what your recommendations were.
Sure, but see, the few things, for experiment that we do every day is pelvic tilts. Just tilting your pelvic front and back, rocking it back and forth. So that's the main thing that we are lacking these days. So that people are ending up having more back pains and more muscle strains because of lack of pelvic movement. And there's something called cat and example. I can't show you now, but there's something called cat and angle. So we have to see it's go back. They did like sure it says backwards.
Yeah, good.
But it posture that focus on the see all the IT traditional vocal job frequently. Nine six result should look exit of that. Eight is in the lag phase of the posture of the like put tension. Have put a go to those
All right. Thank you so much for these wonderful sessions. It's really eye-opening. And then we can feel connected also because we all are meditators and we all want to be mindful. And then having this as a lifestyle change and then really supports us. And thank you so much for your time.